Here we go. Stephen Pampreen is here to break down his 4-0-1 performance at the Spring Thundercluckers GT. Now we'll deep dive in how you use triple rigs, 20 mob Snagga pressure, precise mission play, and how toughness can matter for the wall. So, Steve, welcome, and you did it. You'd been talking about it, growing your wall silently, telling me in the whispers, "Watch, the hunt is coming." You are here. So what's going on, Steven?
Hey, it's good time.
So you'd been cooking up the hunt matchup, this list, this archetype for a while, and there's a lot to it. So I want to just show the list, and then we'll talk about your actual path to victory. The picture we have here is funny because it does display two of his biggest features on his list.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So let's look at that. So here we go with the big hunt list. Well, Steven, how long have you been working on this, and what are some of your thoughts on it before we break down every unit?
So I've been playing basically 20 boys in a transport since Tactical Brigade Detachment was released, like 2024. And so this is sort of the next iteration of it. I still want my 20 boys. I still want them in a transport. I loved how cheap all the rigs got, so I wanted to have a hunter rig. And at this point, I've been playing this or a very similar iteration of this list since September. Basically, we made the big move to Denver. We moved like 2,000 miles, and so after we did the move, I was trying to get back into 40K, and so this was a list I came up with, and I've been playing it pretty consistently now since then. So I've got I think about 20 tournament games under my belt with it. So I've been really liking it.
Yeah, you've been cooking with this for a while and slowly changing it, and I gotta say, I love it. This is probably one of the first times I've finally been like, okay, I kind of want to play the hunt. Like it was because of you, really. And I know I sound like that sometimes, but that's why I bring people on, because you guys are truly innovating. This is why sometimes I can't cover the detachments like you guys, because people that play and run through everything just come up with so much better stuff than what I can in my short 10 years sometimes with detachments. So let's talk about your list real quick, because I love it. So right away, we got the big hunt finally coming through. We have Boss Snickra, and then we have a Beast Boss with proper Killy, the best enhancement in that for sure. I love it. Nothing like a 3 damage Beast Boss, right?
Yeah. He does
surprisingly, he is your only Snagga character, though. We'll have to talk about that, because people are like, what? Next, we go to a big mech with shock attack gun. That is your Warlord, followed by 2 baby mechs. You guys know all about the baby mechs to go poke them trucks. Then we have a 20-man unit of Beast Snaggas. Ooh, we're going to get pumped about this unit when you start talking about it, because everybody thought I was crazy. I'm not crazy again. So we got 3 5-man units of Flash Kits, 1 minimum-sized unit of Gretchen, 1 tank buster to go alongside the Big Mech Sag, 1 unit of minimum-sized Squig Hog Boys. We have a Hunter rig, triple kill rigs. Let's go. Trip rigs out back again, busted off the shelf. Take that dust off. And then 2 3-man units of Death Copters, followed by 2 trucks. So transport heavy, vehicle heavy. Tell me what's going on here. What's up?
Monster heavy.
Monster heavy. Let's go. So tell us, unpack it for us real quick. What's going on here?
So I think this is a little bit of a philosophy of like building your list versus the building for the detachment. In my mind, if there was no detachments and you were just building based off data sheets, this is pretty close to the list I would probably play. To be totally frank, I really like all these data sheets. I wanted to play with them anyway. So then it was a matter of, okay, how do I find a detachment that fits them? And I think one of the reasons that I've had success compared to, frankly, a lot of the big hunt, we'll have to see what the detachment win rate was for last weekend, but it's usually pretty poor for big hunt if anyone even plays it. I think one of the challenges with building a list for this detachment is a lot of people kind of let the detachment lead what units they're going to take. And some of our weakest units, in my mind, are unfortunately Squig Hog Boys, is Beast Snaggas on a Squig. I don't like them. I don't think they're good. And so if you look at your detachment and you say, I've got 3 relics, I guess I better buy 3 characters for them, or single 10-mans in transports and kill rigs. I don't think that's a very strong list to begin with, so you're going to struggle with this detachment. So with all that being said, for me, I was like, I really like shooting, so I'm going to bring a lot of shooting. Kill rig is my favorite model because it's good at everything. It has good movement, it's tough, it fights well in melee, it shoots hard, it's got 5 OC, it's just great. So I was like, all right, I'm going to play 3 kill rigs. I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely bringing shooting. I love the trucks full of flash kits. So then what complements that? And I was like, well, 20 Snagga boys and a hunter rig is kind of awesome, and that works well to dealing with one of that data sheet group's hardest abilities. So if you've got 20 flash kits or tank busters or whatever in a truck, pop quiz, what's the worst thing that you see across the table in front of you?
What, that if you have a truck?
Yeah, you got a truck full of flash kits. What are you going to hurt? Like, not at all.
Anything with the 2-up armor save, essentially.
So wouldn't it be great if there was a detachment that gave you an AP boost so that you could punch through those 2+ saves that your flash kits can't handle? There is. It's the hunt. So that's how I came to playing this list. And it's been really fun. I've been really liking it. And I don't believe that you get to choose necessarily how you win, but you can get to choose how you lose with orcs. And I didn't want to lose by getting my big unit into melee and then just completely whiffing and getting tabled. That's the way I wanted to lose the least. I didn't want to do it that way. So for me, I was like, okay, I have my proper killy beast boss that, averages like 15 dev wounds with full buffs. And I've got my 20 Snagga boys that can get up to AP2 into anything that's not like an annoying like dev sense where they don't have a character, but they still can have AOC or 2 up and like a high toughness. Most things that they run into, they're going to really put the hurt on. And so I wanted to make sure that I lost because I didn't do movement. I lost because, I messed up something in my gameplay, and not because I feel like I did my job and delivered my big killy unit, and then it just didn't do anything because, sometimes that happens. So with this army, I have not lost because of that. I've lost, but it has not been because I delivered 20 Snagga boys into the heart of my opponent's army, and then the 20 Snagga boys just whiffed. So that's been really nice, and that's been one of my favorite parts of playing this.
Yeah, absolutely love 20 Snagga boys. I think earlier you said gits, or maybe I misheard you, but I know you meant Snagga boys. Yeah, the 2 AP is crazy changing on the math for what 20 Snagga boys can do alongside the beast boss. And then this detachment, they don't even always need the wall to advance in charge, but then they can also fall back in charge because of this detachment too, if they are still alive, so that you can get some, redundancy on that.
And they stay alive quite a bit. I played a game today actually with playing this against T-Suns. Went in, 3 boys managed to survive after wailing on a big T-Suns unit. Reactive move back into a kill rig. Kill rig dies. They hop behind a wall. Next turn, they went and killed a demon prince before finally dying. So I think, for me, that reactive move, I had it in tactical and I had it in this, and I have it in this as well. It's so key to making this work into those shooting matchups where you're outgunned. Now, granted, I spent a lot of points on guns in this list, so the amount of armies that like truly outgun me is definitely a lot smaller than I think most orc players are used to. But it's still, it still happens. It's still my least favorite matchups. You feel like you're running across the table, screaming and holding on for your 5-up info for your life.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed the list, and it's got a lot of old tricks, and feels like it really lets you use your player skill. And again, that 20 Snagga boy unit just takes the dice out of it so much as well, because it does so many attacks. You don't get scammed either. Like, if they go into a Catan and you wrap the Catan, you get them all in, like, you're killing that thing. That's not always the case, even with things that on average do it, but like, oh, you're doing 6 damage per attack or something, and then it's like, well, they just hit 5 out of 6 4-ups. What can I tell you? They're fine.
How often did your kill rig buff actually matter? I just want to throw that before I forget. It's not a huge thing, but
it matters a lot. They buffs itself a lot, and I've played 2 demon matchups, and both times I hit a 6. I put all 3 kill rigs to buff the middle one, and both times the last kill rig hit a 6, and the first time it took all 20 boys, but that was when Endless Gift was a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Okay.
They one-tapped it because they had lethals. And then the other time, I only got 10 guys in a Beast Snagga boss, but it was a 5-up Feel No Pain, and they still one-tapped it. So, yeah, no, it's awesome. It makes such a big difference. There's a lot of times where the math changes, especially when you're trying to... In my case, where I only have really one big unit that I'm sending into my WAAAGH turn, I'm not sending like 15 units like a lot of other work units. So for me, it's very much like WAAAGH, you're shooting, you're wearing them down, and being able to continually put damage between your AP buff and your strength buff means that like Hogs on a non-WAAGH turn, it's like, oh yeah, they're strength 6, lance, AP 2. And you're like, oh, well now that's a decent profile. Where before, if you don't have the kill rig, if you don't have the detachment buff like that, you're relying on, like something else that, in my mind, is often not as reliable.
So what I also think is important to point out are your DACA wagon trucks, mobiles, right? Oh, yeah. Your DACA trucks, you brought 3 flash kits and tank busters in the SAG. This is something that I personally kind of go back and forth with, and I'm wondering about as well. So you said you have a lot of shooting. I mean, you got your kill rigs have some shooting, your dev copters have some shooting. But, I mean, this is like your actual shooting platforming unit. You want to break down these little combos on how you have your mech SAG and your truck real quick and how you use them. We'll also show a layout to kind of give you a little bit of visuals as well, guys, and then we'll go as we go into the matchups.
So I have a ton of fun with these. I think they're one of the trickier parts. I had it was a practice game. It wasn't at this tournament, but dream scenario of truck, 5 flash kits got out, wrapped a Victrix Honor Guard on the side so he couldn't reactive move over and across a wall because I just like grabbed him in the movement phase. And then the truck went 12 inches away, dropped tank bustas, SAG mech shot down an angle to kill a ballistic dread, 5 tank bustas, shoot back at the Victrix Honor Guard I just popped. Tank bustas go charge the middle then, and the next turn they get tagged. No problem. Truck just follows up. They all fall back into the truck. Mech walks up, hits the truck. They're all hitting on 4s again. So I get to keep firing them. I really enjoy the transport shenanigans, being able to get in and out, and then being able to continually hit hard. My view of this is, while the WAAAGH turn is great at just like ending games, like nothing ends a game as quick as like 5 real orc units hitting on a WAAAGH turn. It's just not reliable enough to go X and O is the goal here, right? Like, I'm not trying to win 80% of my games. I'm trying to win all my games. So I need to have a chance in every game. And in my mind, that means I need to have reliable damage that I can put over 5 turns. So it's taken a lot of discipline to not want to just stick them out round 1 and just like shoot at something. and my one draw, we'll talk about it. I wasn't disciplined. He gave me a great target, and I was like, oh, I really want it, and I did it, and it got me a draw. So it's something to be really cognizant about. It's that you wanted this truck to keep shooting for 5 turns. You want it to shoot the entire game, and so be very careful about what can shoot back. It's okay to take an angle that's really tight, just shoot the tip of a spear off of a scout squad and be like, yeah, it's 30 flash kits. They could kill more. There might be more they could see, but like, we're just going to pick up these 5 scouts this turn. We're going to be alive next turn to do something else. And that's something and it really fits as well with the theme of this list. Every single one of my units, though, does have a melee, like a real melee, and often a real shooting too. So I really enjoy the micro aspect of the game of trying to get the absolute most out of a single unit, and that means being able to activate in 2 phases in my mind. So I really prioritize 2-phase kind of units. I mean, I've beat so much stuff to death with my tank bustas. They got some novitiates. They went into some blood angels. They didn't care. So I really like being able to use both phases of the game. Both damage phases. And so that's why I pick units that tend to be tough, tend to be fast, tend to be, able to contribute through both damage and movement. And also, there's a decent amount of movement in, between the squig bombs, the Deathcopters fly over. Stuff comes up when people try to move block you.
No, that's for sure. I can see all that redundancy. It's really subtle, but you're right. It is like everybody has dual utility, whether it's shooting and fighting. It can be a transport. Maybe it's an OC unit. There's a lot of stuff that's going on here, but it's really subtle because it really kind of takes you a little out of the hunt to realize that the other rules are kind of just, back there while you're really setting up the core of the list, which is the Snagga bricks and then the mobile docket truck, which we've seen in other really good players and high-level players use too. So I'm glad people are still giving that love because, I do hear from more players, they just give up on the shooting, right? And I remember we've talked about that too. Like, do you just give up on all the shooting? No, you got to contest it on GW to a degree because there's too much respectable stuff out there that you can just sip, you can't let people just stand on the deployment line and threaten all your stuff.
And man, it's just miserable. Someone puts 3 arcoflagellants or something out, and you're like, oh, I really wish I had 5 flash kits. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to send boys to the middle and go beat them up. This is miserable. I know there's lists that are built for that, and they're really good. I don't want to talk to that. That's just for me. That's painful to have to do that.
That's why the mech. But that's the thing about the mech, which is kind of hard to sell to people sometimes because they're like, "There's a whole package," but it's like, yeah, but that's how you get that shooting that's somewhat more reliable when you're hitting on 4s on this firing deck platform.
And it's another guy. It's effectively imagine if you could pay 45 points for a truck that got +1 to hit and could do actions.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I treat them. We'll cover it here in one of the games, but in Terraform, I used both mechs turn 1 in my Deathcopters. I terraformed all the objectives.
Yes. Let's go over your path to victory. Like I said, we do have the layout that I could probably show here and point out some stuff, give you guys a little bit more visuals on there. Shout out to chat. Shout out to the bad dog for 5 wall taxes gifted memberships. That's love right there. The bad dog. He's digging your to hunt, and hopefully you chats are getting stuck in and excited about this because I'm pumped to that. We're getting, come on, guys. Remember when I had a debate with Happy Crumper a year ago or more, which shout out to Happy Crumper doing well. But we were talking about are kill rigs good or not, and I was on the yes and he was on the nah. But Steven's on our side here, guys. The kill rigs, blow some dust off your kill rigs.
I don't understand. I retire for 8 months and I come back and I played 3 of them for a while and then I come back and they're cheaper and I'm like, what is everyone doing here? It's
funny because you had them in Index. You were using them to buff Bob's the Boys.
Yep.
Then you had them in Tactical Brigade, I think it was, or something. Yeah, and then you had 20-man Snagga. So it's funny, but you're proving that it can be tried and true that you play with the units you want to play and make them work. And flex on the detachment if you have to get them kind of conform to what you need them to do in the meta more or the rules. Definitely. So that's pretty sweet. And thank you, Bad Dog, supporting the chat. Let's look at this live path to victory. So like you said, you did have a draw that first one. Your opponent did continue to win the next couple games. Those are shout out to that guy.
Also, personally, my favorite list of the tournament that I played against. I also am a GSC player. I've got my GSC army back here, and I love this list. If I was going to play another army, this probably would have been almost exactly the list I would have played.
Well, shout out to this guy, Will, because you guys got a draw, and you actually are familiar with GSC, right? He was probably sweating dang, someone who actually knows my army, right?
I knew what I was doing. Honestly, this game was it's a little tough to tell how it would have gone out. We did. And due to time, which was definitely part of the draw, is he started having to play we're only going to get turn 4, which meant I picked up a bunch of stuff, but it's who cares? We're ending, on turn 4. So I don't know exactly how it turned out. I wish we'd been able to finish to a completion because I think this was coming up to be a really good game. And this was one where he made a mistake at the beginning, and I could see down the middle there. I picked my tank buses and flash kits in a truck. He said, I was like, okay, I can move out. And something else I do, actually, we can talk a little bit about.
Yeah, we'll show it. So, let's look at this list real quick. It's Final Day GSC. We got double abominates, biophages, Death Leaper, hyper adaptive Ravners, 2 of those, and then a reductive saboteur. We have 1 unit of hybrids with auto pistols, then we got another one with hand flamers, 2 units of gargoyles, double aberrant units, 2 units of Ridge Runners. One is a 2-man unit where there's 2 of those. Oh, 2 of those. So they have 2 of the 2 Ridge Runners.
3 Ridge Runners, 2 with lasers.
Yeah. And then the hybrid metamorphs.
Yep.
Followed by double pure strain gene stealer. So I got some in the scouting up in here and a lot of little units. I'm punching as fast gargoyles for move blocking. Okay, so here's a lot of little stuff. I can see why you like this and the nice Tyranid kind of mix going on here. So this was layout 6, right?
The Raveners are actually what make this in my mind. So the
hybrid?
Yes. So
these guys.
The good detachment or the good strat for this detachment is when you kill a Tyranid character, then all the GSC guys all really hate that person, and you get like I think +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good buff. The issue is that you don't want to have to give up Death Leaper to get that. And Death Leaper is really good. He's only 80 points. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I'll take Death Leaper for 5 more points over Snickrod. Don't worry, I'll find the points. But the Ravener, the character, the Sergeant has a character keyword. So if you've wiped this Ravener unit, and it's a Sergeant, so you can just kill it first too if he wants to. It doesn't have to be the last thing that fires at the unit. You can inadvertently give up that +1 to hit, +1 to wound against one of
I see.
hitters. And these units are so good. Free rapid ingress, free heroic, wound everything on 5s because of anti, and then have twin linked. Just a ton of really good rules altogether, but they're squishy.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. But yeah, he left his Ridge Runners exposed.
Here we go. So this was layout 6.
Yep. He didn't see
yeah. Take and hold. This was mission A, I think, from what you showed me.
Yeah, mission A. Starting off nice and easy. So what I do this time, I really wanted to see where he was going to put his Ridge Runners. I knew he only had 2. They do have Scout, so if he puts them both in the middle, they can scout and move quite far. But I wanted to see where he was going to put his Ridge Runners to see which side, which long table edge was basically going to have las cannons pointed down it, and which side I was going to be more free, or if I was going to be free in the middle. So I knew he had to pick 2 of the 3 angles that I cared about. So I did my everyone hop out of their truck deployment. So the trucks only had 5 flash kits in it to beginning with, and then the tank bustas, the mech, the other flash kit unit, the second mech, they all go out, and they go generally where I know the truck's going to go, but it just gives me a ton more drops to find out where the Ridge Runners are going to go.
That's an interesting strategy. Okay.
So yeah, I did that in this game, and I had I think I did 2 rigs on the board as well. And so I only had 1 rig, and the hogs almost always go in reserve, and 1 unit of Def Copters always goes in reserve. So I did that, and I basically got to see that the north edge here was going to be the one that he was going to choose to be free. So there's no Ridge Runners guarding that side. So my truck and rig on that side, we're going to have fun. But then it meant the middle and the south table edge, we're going to have Ridge Runners pointed up it. So he left some Ridge Runners in the middle that I could see, his mortar guy in the back, and then his middle ones were just like poking out a little bit. And they were safe, and he had scouted them. He's like, oh, I want to be farther away from all your advancing guys. So he scouted them back, but it was a place I could see them. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have my truck go out. I'm going to shoot these guys with tank bustas and a sag mech. I pulled Mark for death, and he chose the one I could see. So I was like, all right, completely whiffed. Did terrible. I think I did.
Oh my gosh.
I think I did 3 wounds with the whole truck. So
was this the firing lane you took, or?
It was, it was south, the middle south to the middle east. That was the firing lane. I had my tank buster truck going up, and then my other truck was just in the northwest along with the kill rig, and then my hunter rig I always put in the middle on table 6.
So you had a hunter rig here in the middle, and you
I'm not seeing your circles if you're drawing them still.
Oh yeah, I am. Oh, you know what? I think I know why that is. Sorry guys, I thought I was over here showing them displays, and I wasn't. You guys see it now?
Yeah, I can see it now.
So you had the firing lane here, you're saying, for that truck?
So I had a truck pointed up that. Was having a great time, missing everything. And then I had my hunter rig in the middle behind the L. And my rule with this is I try to make it so that he has to be in front of his L if he wants to shoot me.
Yeah.
Most people are
So you're trying to demonstrate that the enemy has to stand here in order to shoot to your rig that's here, roughly.
So they can shoot to it. Almost every army has something that can get something there that can hurt a hunter rig. But as long as they don't one tap it, I don't really care how much damage they do. I'm generally going to get more back. Because like hunter rig is 135 points. Like 135 points. They're putting like a 250 point like big real thing into it generally if they want to have a chance at actually killing it.
Because like a Redemptor Dreadnought's not killing it. You know, it might kill a truck, but it's not going to kill that. And like your
Rep-X is only a 1 in 6 chance if I got cover.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show the chat. If you guys chat's looking, it's because Steven's pointing out that they can't shoot them from this angle if they go into this pocket. And there's not another angle from here to hit them either. So the enemy has to walk forward into this open ground spot, and then once it's in this open ground spot, it can shoot down this lane. But then they're completely in the open and easy to counter attack. So he'll take that, you know, and that's the difference between a truck and a rig. Another thing that I think we were talking about earlier was if it's a battle wagon that's sitting there, that's not necessarily good bait because the enemy kind of knows that it's not going to kill a wagon one activation. But a rig can give the illusion. If you know, it can give the illusion because it's T10 and it doesn't have an invuln, and they're like, oh, I could probably kill that, and then they kind of step forward to it. Not always, but people do take that bait.
Yeah, and part of trying to have a good tournament run where, you know, if you're trying to go far is having easier games into opponents that you're like going to beat anyway, but like it's literally that it's not as like tiring for you. And so having an army where people make mistakes like that can really help you just like have shorter games and be more rested for when you hit that like really hard game later on.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Right? It's nice. You don't want to take it easy and make it close. You're like, sorry, dude, I just got to put it to pedal to the metal, dude, so I can reserve some energy. Thanks, and get that score up.
Exactly. So this game, I don't know if I want to go too deep into it since again we didn't really get to finish, so there was a lot.
No, it's all good. You have more games. Talk about. But yeah, so what were the big deals mistakes that he made or that you made in response to him?
I think the main one is I just shouldn't have put my truck out. I did, and my kill rig went to the middle because Death Leaper was behind that little 2x4 in the center.
Okay.
On his side, and so my kill rig just like walked out, hit him with the last cannon. That was nice. I don't think.
What was your kill rig like here?
Yeah, my kill rig was right there. And again, he can he could have gotten an angle on that if I went second. But another thing is the kill rig, the Overwatch is good enough that I just made sure he had an angle where he had to go in front of his L, and that means I would get to Overwatch him. And those little ridge runner things just want absolutely nothing to do with the 24-inch War Tower Overwatch. So you can kind of control the lanes a little bit against things that aren't tough enough to eat a War Tower reliably.
And there's nothing in your kill rig.
Yeah, there's nothing in it. So
if that was I can disembark you and blah 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 and mess up your staging, sure. But if it's like, no, it's just empty, bro. It's like, oh, I don't want to kill that. Like that sucks.
You don't need to put anything in these kill rigs, guys. Orc players, I swear, you don't need to. There's no one's requiring you to buy the Snagga boys to put inside.
I've been saying that. Yeah, it's true, dude. And you actually went through with that. You're taking advantage of their new monster keyword.
Yes.
So let's look. So that was your first matchup. Ended up with a draw. Then opponent did go on to win more of their games.
I think he finished 2-1 and 2. He's just he's right down the middle.
Yeah, he was doing good too. He won his next 2 games, so he made it to the top rounds later, the better rounds. Yeah. So then we go into your second matchup, which is again on layout 8. I'll say the mission after it, but this was against the Salamanders, Forge Father Seekers. So you had Adrax, Agatone, an Apothecary, Lieutenant, and then Vulcan He-Stand, followed by an Intercessor, an Aggressor, some Blade Guard for Vulcan, some Eradicators, 2 squads of those, a 5-man Hellblaster, a 10-man Infernus, 1 Repulsor, and a Caladius Assassin. And he had a Land Raider Redeemer too. There we go.
Yeah, don't mind that.
Yeah, man, it's a big deal. I know, and especially in this detachment, this army, because this detachment's a sleeper detachment, but I'm playing against it. It works.
Dude, for whatever reason, not in the Denver area, man. I think there was 4 Salamander players, at least 3. Like
I mean,
all
they are
playing,
starting to come out more. I meant
like,
sleeper, like you don't hear about it online, but if you're
yeah,
playing, you know, this is like
I hadn't
maybe.
heard of it. I guess maybe you have.
Oh, the next
But
one is Iron Hands. Iron Hands is the other version of,
that's,
you know,
yeah,
almost not trying to play ultras, but playing other good units. But yeah, this is a good one. But I think you had a funny picture that I might show with this one where is this the one with
yes.
the Land Raider and the Coptas?
This is the one with the Coptas and the
Yeah.
Redeemer. While I did say I wanted to bring an army that made sure it could kill anything it ran into,
Mm-hmm.
it's much easier if you can avoid that altogether. So this game, he drove his Land Raider up the side of the table. I rapid ingress a Land Raider or a kill rig right in front of his Land Raider. And he, unfortunately for him, he overwatched that kill rig. He got real excited. And so that meant the Coptas weren't going to get overwatched. So they just went and charged it. This is something important as well. I really enjoy the little finesse stuff like this. But Coptas are vehicles with a base, which means you have to measure to all parts of the hull, which includes the little copter blades.
Yeah.
So he can't he really can't get out of that Land Raider.
Yeah, he can't.
An inch away from all the copter blades too.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is just how it was for the whole game. You can see right here, I've got a second unit of Coptas that they deep struck on the other side of the board and like flew across the whole board and then went and helped in. I had a truck full of flash kits. They were all charging in to hold still. So he had in that Land Raider, he had 6 Blade Guard led by Adrax, and then he had 3 Eradicators and one of the lieutenants all got stuck in there for the whole game until the very end when I pulled it's not Big Game Hunter. I can't now. What is it?
Bring it down.
Bring it down. I pulled Bring It Down, and the Beast Snagga just went over there and did like 16 death wounds to it, or 15 death wounds to finish it off. And that was it. So that was unfortunate for him, but I did get to use a lot of the. This is a really scary detachment because the ability to shoot. When you shoot one of the transports, the guys inside can hop out and shoot back at you.
Yeah.
Full bliss skill, not Overwatch or anything. And we talked after. He put his repulsor in the middle, and he's like, "I didn't think you could kill it." I was like, "I could kill a repulsor." So
What'd you kill it with?
Tank busters, 2 rigs, some grenades, and I think something charged it. Oh, the tank busters actually charged it. They hit like a 9-inch charge, and Sergeant took the last wound.
What the heck? Yeah.
Which was really big because it means he was evicted while I still had my Hunter rig charged it and 20 boys all charged it. So he got evicted. The Hunter rig and the boys could still swing. Hunter rig completely whiffed, so I think it killed like 2, but it could have been impactful. What was really scary for me is I spent all this shooting trying to whittle this thing down and realized after he could have just hopped out with the guys, and nothing that was shooting at him. I was actually scared of getting hit with flamers. But it would have meant that he could have hopped out and pointed 10 flamers at my 20 Snagga boys that were getting to get out. So that could have been scary. But he was so focused, I think, frankly, because he overwatched. I guess he'd already overwatched, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But after he'd overwatched the Land Raider and I moved the Coptas over, I was like, all right, so I'm going to charge here so that nothing gets out, and I'm just going to keep it here the rest of the game. I think he was a little kind of tilted after. Like it's kind of hard to stay focused on the rest of the battle when you have like 500 points, 700 points, including the Land Raider, all locked up in there just by like a truck and 2 units of Coptas and some like flash kits that were just hugging it for dear life.
Yeah, and this was still layout 6 for you, and this was mission M.
6. Mm-hmm. Yep. Overall, a fun game. We had a lot of back and forth about how Hellblasters work with them like shooting on dying and then the hazardous. So just don't take Hellblasters was my takeaway from that. I
don't deal with them. Not worth the headache. Oh well. Yeah. Well, shout out to this get and good game there. And
it was super fun though. We had a good time.
Yeah, it's good to hear also that your tank busters. You can tell me more later. Like, how do you feel about just one tank buster unit? But we can discuss that later because it's one of those things. Like, did you? When someone does throw that repulsor out there, that's kind of why I like them, right? It's like I need something that can actually pretend it wants to shoot you, and start doing damage while everything else gangs up on you. Who knows? But we'll talk about it later.
Sometimes it's nice, but man, sometimes those tank busters, they just whiff a lot too.
They whiff so hard. They whiff so hard. And then we'll go to your game. So this is now day 2 on game 3. So kind of a little unusual. But so instead of your first 3 games being on day 1, right? At least how I see it for you, how you wrote it out.
And that was part of, I think, why the draw round 1, because we both started. We're starting our first game of the GT at 2 in the afternoon.
Ooh.
I think both of us were just like a little like, this is weird, right? I should be in the middle of round 2 at this point. So
yeah. So now you're going to day 2. Yep. Now you guys are playing on layout 1 though, right? So now it's layout 1. I believe.
So no, sorry, we're still on 6. My last 2 games were
okay. So even though it was a change day, they kept it here. So still layout 6, but then your actual matchup came over here.
Blood Angels.
Right? We'll be going to the Blood Angels, like you said. So we got Dante Lamartis, captain with jump packs, 2 of them, 2 captains with jump pack, and then a chaplain with jump pack, followed by a lieutenant with combi. 5 intercessors, 2 5-man units of assault intercessors, 2 big bricks of Death Company Marines, followed by 2 minimum size units of Sangard and 1 big brick of Sangard, and then a big old Vanguard brick with Inferno pistols and storm shields. A couple storm shields, it looks like. All right, cool. Yeah. A lot of jetpacks, a lot of initiative, but also a lot of T4 bodies. So how did this go?
I got to redraw, bring it down this game. I think I pulled it, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have anything."
You just called it the wrong thing, though. It's not called bring it down, right?
No. I'm trying to be right.
You are. I'm trying to bring you back to the wrong.
Game Hunter, all right. I don't care what.
I want people to show your age. Big Game Hunter. No, yes, you had to redraw Big Game Hunter because there's no vehicles on this list, which is counterintuitive. So, what were you thinking going into this? You had some good points about this match.
So I've played this twice now. I think I played it once before this. And it was like a pretty big, like a 20-0 with a reset and then a 20-0 again. So on like a practice night kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
this is mission J with search and destroy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it's tight quarters, but I was still feeling pretty comfortable about it. I like any mission where I can score a bunch of points on turn 5 after tabling my opponent. I tend to be up on my army lends towards I'm going to table you. We'll worry about the mission later. That's the kind of player I am. So I like the missions that encourage that. So linchpin, you can score a ton on round 5. And this case, so he what he wants to do with this list is his ideal is he just gets to go first, and then the Vanguard vets come in, melt a pistol at transport, charge everyone inside, and then you're so busy dealing with that the rapid ingressing and the continual charges kind of overwhelm you. So I was fortunate I got to go first, and then he scouted guys on that middle, his side on the right side. He was that middle L. He scouted to the south of it. So he was search and destroy, so he had to be in his corner, but he's. So, yeah, he scored in the corner there, but then guys were on the other side of that wall, too. And, right there. And I had 2 trucks behind mine. So I just drove, one drove 8 inches and one drove 3 inches. And I just, that same angle we talked about, right there. Lined up both of them. Another thing to be careful about, I lined up one 24 to the guy. The second one, I lined up 24 to the character, so he couldn't pull out. Coherency. So I got to just full go to town with 6 flash kits, 6 tank busters, 15 flash kits, and a sag mech, all into that unit. It had 10 in it, so they got double blast, which is really when the tank busters can shine. It's all hitting on 4s. At the end, when the smoke cleared, he just had a single guy left with the character, which was unfortunate because I pulled assassinate no prisoners turn 1. So I would, dang it. But then the rest of it, I just put some Coptas in the center. He had a bunch of Sangard in his safer L. And I just kind of made it so that they would struggle to hop over. But naturally, he had a 6 on the advance, so it didn't matter. He hopped over completely. My hunter rig is just where I deployed it the last game. It's where I like to keep it. I did move it forward, though, on turn 1, because I'm like, well, he's not going to shoot me. So I put it, more like there, because I wanted to make sure that if he decided to play back for a turn, I'm like, well, I'm going to come get you. Like, I'm going to get some guy on your turn, on your home objective. So when something important, like if he put like 2 or 3 units in reserve. He had a lot of points in reserve. So if you know your opponent has a lot in reserve and you're going first, you know you have a whole turn just to fight whatever's on the table, and you don't have to deal with anything in reserve. So for me, I was like, that's my cue. Like, okay, and his 1 hammer unit on the table, he misdeployed, so I could shoot it. So I'm like, all right, all he has left is just like some Sane Guard, some random he had 1 more unit, I think, he had 1 more unit of 10 guys on the board, and then like some Sangard and some like jump pack intercessors. And I'm like, well, none of that's keeping my hunter rig away. Like, the hunter rig is going forward. And just like a combi lieutenant. Yeah. And so he came out, he hit the huge advance roll so that he could hop over the Death Coptas.
These guys right here, the big brick that's right there.
So he stands right in front of my hunter rig, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna kill this thing with melta pistols, and then I'm gonna kill everyone inside.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. He shoots his whole army at me, including some other the remainder of that first squad and some other like character. He's like, how many wounds do you have left? I was like, 14.
Yeah, because they're strength 9.
And yeah, throwing me on 5s. I was like,
and that's what I mean is the kill rig gives the illusion that it can be killed because it's a little not a.
You can tell. Yeah, I think he was expecting a truck or something. Like, it's like, this thing, I've done this 100 times, and I'm like, I'm totally fine. So then he had to send the whole squad in. I actually exactly died. I was like 1 4-up save away from just living. But it worked out because he pulled tempting and area denial. I chose the middle tempting. He surrounded me. I had to do an emergency disembark. I lost like 6 orcs, but I got to stand on the center objective.
Oh my god!
So I denied both of them. Although now that I think about it, I was tank shocked. I shouldn't have denied tempting. We forgot that. Oh no.
Oops.
But he just didn't. He charged the Coptas with some other guys that were still on the table, and then he consolidated into the boys that got out, which was great. So I got to swing again. The Beast Boss finished off a unit, killed like half the Vanguard vets, and then in my turn I fell back and just charged back in. I have fall back and charge. I didn't even need to WAAAGH, and because I fell back when he rapid ingressed on my turn, he had to rapid ingress like practically in his like not the front L, like the back L. He like almost had to rapid ingress back there.
No, he had to ingress kind of like around here.
No, like north.
Oh,
he's
here.
Also getting carried. Nope, keep going. Like, yeah.
What the heck?
So,
yeah, because your rig was like here.
And then I got out 6 inches, and then I moved 6 inches.
Yeah, then you emergency disembarked.
Right. So
here.
I'm standing right there at the end of my movement phase. So he's like, I guess I have to rapid ingress way back here.
I think it has to be 9 inches from them somewhere over here.
And I've got trucks all standing out in the middle, so he's like doesn't want to get shot by them. So in the end, and then those guys come in and eventually finish my boys off, and then I shot all of the guys off the table that finished my boys off. But the end result is like he traded like 1,500 points for my hunter rig and the 20 boys. So that's not a good trade.
Yeah, his army's a bunch of T4 bodies, and then once he goes, it's if you're not completely deleted, crippled, he's gone, and you still have all your tough units left. Yeah. Your units have multi-activations, and you're to start picking them up. And he had no momentum left.
Yeah,
and you had board control.
Yeah, I was fine on primary, and then the truck's full of guys. Like there's certain armies that, and Blood Angel is one of them, which is one of the reasons that I felt comfortable into it. They just despise transports. They really struggle trying to pop the transport and get the guys out, which is why he was so counting on those melta pistols working. But it's not gonna. Yeah, once I took out like his call it like a double activation unit, and I took out both of them basically turn 1. It meant in order for him to get rid of trucks, which he did eventually get rid of, but he had to like send a unit, kill the truck, all the flash gets hop out, just blasted away some assault intercessors. It was so. I think I tabled him like bottom of 4, top of 4.
Okay. And then we go to the final 2 games, which these are actually on layout 1.
Yes, these were on layout 1.
So we'll go his fourth game was into the Deathwatch, the new Deathwatch. So you got Captain and Gravis, Judiciar, Combi Lieutenant, and then a Watchmaster, followed by 2 of the bricks of Deathwatch veterans, a Intercessor squad. Then we had 2 Fortis kill teams with an Incursor unit, followed by 2 Indominator kill teams, and then a dedicated transport and a Cladius assassin.
Yep.
Okay. So how are you feeling going? Oh, and what was the mission? Let me look this. I think
this was Terraform.
This was mission O.
Yeah.
Yep. Mission O, layout 1. Okay. Cool.
So with Terraform, I've actually gotten a decent amount of reps on this because I lost a game by 2 points playing Terraform at Everwinter, and it drove me, or 4 points or something like that. It drove me nuts. So I wanted to be more comfortable playing it. So for my reps, it's been, even though it doesn't start counting yet, it's very good to Terraform on turn 1. Things usually get pretty busy after that, especially with my army. So I got to go first, my turn 1, even though I know he can uppy downy his whole army practically. I'm like, all right, we're just going to go Terraform all this stuff. So my Deathcopters go to the middle, Terraform. Each of my trucks go, the little mechs hop out, they Terraform. And the reason why that's really valuable is because one truck actually did manage to have some good shots. So it finished off a unit of like Incursors and shot his Combi Lieutenant, which was nice. So got rid of those. And then the terrain and the deployment was just such that my kill rig could actually walk up the south table edge there, and I can't get the base across the middle terrain. There's not enough movement there.
Yeah,
but his little nose can stick past the edge, and a monster, you can draw a line of sight from any part of the model.
Like that.
So I have to measure to his base, so I had to make sure I was still within 24 inches from the base, but I can have a line of sight through the nose. So I shot a Rhino with that, and the next turn, when
are you saying your kill rig went here and shot over that?
No, on the south. This little 2x thing right up against the table edge. Yeah. I was just like, I had it partially on that and shot into his safe pocket in his deployment zone. Yep.
Here.
Yeah.
And then, so then what? You had a truck go here because this is where the mission, the objective marker is. I've put a better marker for that. And so you had one here. So what? This is truck. This is Deathcopter. And then this is the other truck right here. Yep. So what are we doing with Snickrot then? Is what I wanted to know.
Oh,
yeah. A lot of the time.
Snickrot was hiding in the very back corner, waiting for his chance. This was not a Snickrot mission. In my mind, because I meant
in general, because you haven't talked about Snickrot at all, really.
He does his thing. He honestly, actually, hold on. This is the Snickrot game. What am I talking about?
Oh my gosh, there we go.
No, he's in the back. He's waiting. So I went and terraformed everything, and I knew that he only has he has a lot of killing, but he only has 6 units, especially since I picked up 3 of his units effectively turn 1.
Yeah. He only has 6 big kill teams, and then
so
some
I got
characters.
Rid of practically everything that wasn't one of those big kill teams. And he basically picked up his turn 1. Everything went in that southeast corner. He had 1,800 points. Around that, and they picked up my truck, they picked up all the flash kits, and they killed most of the
killers. Here.
Yeah, he had literally all his army. It was 70 Marines, all in that area. But what it meant is they couldn't kill the Deathcopters in the middle, and they couldn't kill any of my stuff on the far side. Yeah.
Over here. Yeah.
Right. So that was all safe. So I finished it. I'm like, all right, going into turn 2, I've still terraformed 3 objectives. So those start ticking. I'm holding 2 objectives plus my home. So that's pretty good. So I started out with a really good primary score. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, let's just make sure to stop him from scoring.
Did you terraform this one over here?
I did. Yeah.
With what?
The truck drove forward, and the little mech hop out and gets a little 3 extra inches.
The mech got out. Okay.
Mech gets it. And so the mech got out, did it, and then he still did his +1 to hit.
Yeah.
And then the truck blasted, 5 incursors and a combi lieutenant. So I really got my money's worth out of that. It was a bummer that it did immediately die, though.
Yeah, because this is Crucible, if anybody's wondering. So the deployment was like this. That's why he could get that distance.
Yeah.
So did you just have like a truck here? Like you just didn't respect his shooting or what?
Well, he's Deathwatch. What is he going to do? So yeah, I slapped this some bitch right on the border of the.
I just wanted to hear you say that. You put a truck right there, came forward, terraformed, shot in his backfield, just bowling. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so he doesn't contest your natural expansion essentially, nor the middle, allows you to double terraform. You're in a good spot. So then when's your wall? When's your 20 Snaggas coming out? What are they doing?
I don't WAAAGH turn 2. I'm like, I don't need to. I got nothing to do. And I have a horrible turn. I moved my Def Coptas up that terraform the middle. And I was like, all right, we're going to screen this whole thing. I measured it all out. And then I was like looking around. I was like, okay, now he's going to rapid ingress his big like melee like hammer unit. And I was like, I want to push it out a little bit more. So after measuring everything, the middle, I advance my Def Coptas. I roll a 4. Great. They advance forward, which leaves, right through there, right? An exactly 4-inch hole, basically directly in the center of the table that he can fit 10 Deathwatch Marines. So his turn 2 rapid ingress, his Deathwatch Marines basically on the center objective. Yeah. And so they are going to go to my home. Like, it's a disaster.
That's terrible, dude. What the heck?
I was like just asleep at the wheel. And then I'm so flustered from that. Like, I mess up my shooting order. So, like, then my tank busters it was a mess. So I don't do a whole lot turn 1 or turn 2. And I didn't call WAAAGH, so I'm not going to have an invul up when he uppy downies and moves his whole army around.
So he has a whole kill team in here.
Yep.
And then he has the rest of his army like here.
Yeah, and they're all going to uppy downy.
Yeah.
And I've got most of my army. I've got like I moved my such a mess, dude. I moved my hunter rig to the far, like to the north, so it's almost up against like the table edge. Because it was it's like right behind that, like in between, right there.
Okay.
I've got like the truck, the kill rig, and like the mech. And so his turn, he uppy downies the Caladius, who comes in my deployment zone, like basically the mirror side of what you were just showing for that. Like, it comes in my deployment zone on the south side, like right there. His 10 Deathwatch come to the middle or come to my home objective. Luckily, I have a kill rig there, but they go and just assault the kill rig. He has a bunch of stuff drop, and this is where we find out the problem with Deathwatch. Just whiffs. He just doesn't kill anything. I think he kills like my truck. The 10 Deathwatch guys go in the middle. Deathwatch, the kill rig lives with 1 wound. Yeah, those guys go directly on my home base. I live with a wound, and I still had a bunch of CP luckily, so I rapid ingress the SquigHog boys, and he rolled a 12 on his charge, which was terrible because it meant he had to practically wrap my kill rig, and I got to heroic the SquigHogs. He puts everything into the kill rig, still doesn't do the trick, and the SquigHogs charged at strength 5, so they get their lance. They're wounding on 2s. They kill most of the unit on his turn. Combined with the kill rig getting the swing back. Disaster. I was like, I screwed up, and then it completely was fine.
Are they just not good into high toughness stuff or what?
They're not. Yeah, they really struggle.
That seems like.
Yeah.
But I mean, he kind of had to go all in like that. You were in a position to go back.
Just really good from that point. Because to do that damage, he committed a lot of his army.
Yeah. So then he's just a bunch of Marine bodies in the open. Now you call WAAAGH turn 3. You just run him down essentially.
And so this is the part of the Snickrot though. He stickied his home base. And then the guys ran away. Snickrot transported turn 3 terraform of his home base. He can't.
Oh my gosh, yes.
My Coptas come down, hit a 12-inch from reserve, tie up his home. Snickrot, after terraforming on turn 4, goes and finishes beating the intercessors down. So Snickrot had a great game. Eventually, this one ends up. I think I scored like almost 80 on primary. because I was holding most of the objectives and I had everything terraformed for most of the game. He did manage to unterraform his objective event or his natural expansion and terraforming himself at one point, but it took a while.
This one down here,
yeah, he eventually managed. He got that one, I think, turn 3. So, and then I never unterraformed because I was up by enough. But that was
that's a big good. W. That's because here your score is a 93-point win there. So you're putting up 94, should show something 94, 86, 93. Now you're going to your last game where you get a flat 100.
Yep.
So now you're going to the Adeptus Sororitas. So we have Triple Hospitaliter, Imagifier, Junith, Morgan Fallon, a Palatine, followed by double Rhinos, double Arcoflagellants, 2 Castigators, 2 units of Sacrosanct. Oh, was that 3?
3.
No, these are Celestin Indistance, whatever the hell that is.
I don't even know what these guys are. Even
then we go into the triple units of Sacrosaints, then a Paragon Warsuit, and some Novitiates.
So this one was I don't get to play as much as I'd obviously like to. Who does, right? But one of my good friends from Maine, before I moved, he played Sisters, and we played a ton. So I felt really comfortable going into Sisters, and I know the player well as well. And so I was. This is gonna be a good game. I was excited about it. I find that the Sisters issue is that just every single one of my units is just good at everything into them damage wise. So if I do if I do my job and manage to get the damage in, like I'll do a lot of work. My opponent made one big mistake, at least in my mind, of where he put a Rhino full of Sacrosancts in the middle, and it was one of these I'm trying to present to you a problem that's difficult for you to solve. It was not particularly difficult for my army. I had a lot of ways to pop the Rhino and then even shoot all the guys inside, or all the Sacrosancts inside. The flash kits are just phenomenal in this matchup.
They
just cook Sacrosanct. There's absolutely no wasted. It's exactly enough strength, exactly enough AP, 2 damage for the feel no pain. This one though was noteworthy in that my WAAAGH turn was one of the biggest whiffs of the entire tournament. It consisted of Death Coptas charging an Imaginifier and a Hunter Rig charging 3 remaining Sacrosancts from the Rhino squad.
What about the 20 boys, Snaggas?
Failed a rerollable 5-inch charge.
No, not my Snaggas.
So they would have picked up Morven Vol, they would have picked up 10 Sacrosancts, and would have touched his last Castigator. And nope, just sat there. Didn't do any of that instead.
And you still got 100. That's wild.
Yeah, it was like I said, it's a really good matchup, I think, for Orcs. I think a lot.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say they're too good at killing all your stuff effectively, because the rigs and all that, like a Castigator can do good, but I don't think it pops the rig necessarily.
No, I killed one of the Castigators with the Overwatch. It's kind of funny.
That's messed up. Yeah, so I like that. Yeah, Sister, as long as you don't piecemeal yourself to them, then usually they want to meet you in the mid table, and you just overwhelm them, I think, as Orc.
So how I look at their strengths defensively is Miracle Dice making it so that high variability weapons go in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a ton of that. I have the kill rigs and the Sag Mech, but most of my damage is pretty reliably lots of AP1, AP2.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice.
Yeah, it's a lot of dice. So your Miracle Dice isn't as very valuable. And then the other way that they're valuable is the Sacrosancts of saying we're going to come back unless you can one-tap us. And unfortunately, my opponent didn't really give me a situation where I was going to have to one-tap. I was able to kind of damage by committee with that Rhino in the middle. And then, you're kind of saying, right? If there's anything in the game that can one-tap a Sacrosanct, it's 20 freaking Snagga boys with
for sure. All day.
Sustained if I needed it, right?
Yeah, for sure. All day you just blend them.
So it's a problematic matchup for them. It really is. Their 2 greatest defensive strengths are kind of nullified by my army.
But that's awesome to see when you're going into your round 5, though.
Yes, that's why I was oh man, because there's a few still Custodes floating around. I didn't want that smoke. I was much happier to see the Sisters.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, that was a great W there. 100 points put away there. So let's get your last thoughts on your list. We're getting to an hour like you wanted. So,
sure.
MVP units, maybe some changes to your list. You already alluded to you know, tank busters are kind of hard. Like I'm on the same page where I normally want to bring 2 or none. Bringing just 1 is weird. So what's your MVPs? How'd you feel about Snick Route on the other games?
Sure.
And if someone wanted to mimic this, what are the fundamentals to keep if they can't, you know, copy obviously the exact thing? Because we don't usually recommend people copy exact.
I don't
It's
know
like
why
an
you
archetype.
wouldn't copy the same thing. I've spent a lot of time on it. I think it's pretty good, but
It is, but people sometimes don't own the models, right?
that's
So
fair. That's true.
archetype, right? Like if they had to go something similar, those kind of concepts. So wherever you want to start with it.
So as far as MVP, it's this is I follow basketball, so a lot of MVP debates. I think that the list doesn't fundamentally work without the Snagga boys. They didn't have very many good games this round. The best one was probably maybe they had it fine. The Blood Angels one, and then I didn't go over the GSC one, but they did have a turn where they picked up. There's like all the they picked up like 5 Aberrants, an Abominate, 10 Metamorphs, 6 Raveners, and 5 Gene Stealers. Like that's a pretty good round of combat. I think the threat of them is honestly what makes a lot of this work. As far as archetype, as I alluded to, I've been playing just 20 transports with 20 angry dudes in it for like almost 2 years now, I'd say. I think it was like February or March 2024 when Tactical came out. And the main way that I look at it is you want to be able to your win condition is your big unit crashing home. It's okay to lose points on the rest of it, to lose efficiency if what you're doing is making that happen. So that's why obviously orc shooting isn't the most efficient compared to like I do love my flash kit trucks, but right, it's what's with the mech, you're talking like 90 plus 160 plus 70. So what's that, like 320? Like I don't know if it's 320. You can get a lot of shooting in Marines for less than 320. But what it does is it allows me to clear screens. It allows me to focus on, it makes it so that people are scared to put out their units that could actually hurt my hunter rig. And that's why I bring it. And it's okay. As you can see, it works because it lets the Snagga boys get their victory of what they're going to do. And even in the games where they didn't do a whole lot, like in the Deathwatch game, they killed like 10 Deathwatch Marines or whatever, right? They still captured 2 objectives. They still got me up behind enemy lines. They still got me attempting target. And they did it in a way that a 10-man unit or 2 10s would just have absolutely no hope of. And there's a lot of times as well where because it's 20, is like I've done this to Redeemers a few times where they're like, I'm a Redeemer, and I'm like, here you go, WAAAGH turn, and they're like, okay, 13, 14 shots. And you're like, okay, 10 hits, 6, 7 orcs die. I'm like, okay, well, the 13 are still going to kill the 5 Marines standing here, and the Beast Boss is still going to...
That's what I always say right now in the meta, man. Nobody believes it, but trust me, 20 Snaggas are amazing. They do something just different fundamentally on the table.
They get around fight first a lot, too.
Yeah.
A lot of times where you have 2 units, one is fight first, one doesn't. You charge something useless, like I have plenty of useless units, like a mech or a truck or 5 flash kits, even if they draw the short straw, into the fight first unit, and then you charge your 20 boys into the non-fight first unit, and then just kind of like surround the fight first unit with boys. And then you're like, okay, you got your fight first, you're going to just beat the hell out of that mech. You got him, buddy. Like it's you really showed him. And now my 20 boys are going to go, and I'm just going to get to activate into you and pick up your whole squad. And so there's a lot of fun micro intensive things that you can do with that unit. That it's still the list wouldn't be there without it. As far as tank busters, they're weird. I think that their best target is usually heavy infantry. It's not tanks. In one of just GW ironies, like I think the best unit in like they had a great game in the against the Ultramarines or the Salamanders, because like they got to come out and I get to shoot out a repulsor they're not very good at, and then the SAGMech just like picked up a Lancer, and it's like perfect. That's the ideal thing. I'm ignoring all your cover. A Lancer's only T10, so I can do the +1, and then it starts being worth it. But like, gosh, unless they're shooting at like a tank that's like T10 or T9 or out in the open, it's a tough sell. So,
could you run this without it?
100%. Yeah. I did for a while. I just took 5 more flash kits and 4 more Squig Hog boys. Instead, that's the other variation of this. But I do really like it's a little thing as well, maybe more of a peace of mind than an actual. But I also really like having the Squig bombs into matchups like Drukhari, or I know Eldar's not as popular, but ones where they try to like put like 5 little mooks in front of you. They have a nasty Overwatch, so you can put them somewhere on the table and be like, you're not going to set up a unit right there without me picking up most of that squad. And then if you say, okay, I'm going to, they're like, okay, well, I put a unit or I put it somewhere else that he couldn't see. The fact that they can move, toss a Squig bomb, hop in a truck, Squig Hog boys toss it, Death Copters fly over it, you pick up 5 little idiots, and now your whole army's free. That can be pretty game changing. So I really like the utility of it. It gives me something that none of my other units can do between the shooting and I know it's not the best melee, but like they beat up a squad of novitiates. On a WAAAGH turn, it's still like 3 straight 6
It's
attacks.
not nothing. It's a volume of,
and they get the +1 to hit and wound against vehicles. If they really want to go, and if something vehicle only has a 3-up or a 4-up or something, they can still go.
Yeah, it's a good amount of handful of punches, and like you said, it's the utility of the tool on your list. It's just you just got to pay for it because you're not going to get it somewhere else, and it gives another threat, another factor for the opponents to think about. You got a lot of mediocre toughness units on the field. It's nice when you can reach out and punish them for taking the bait, and respecting firing lanes.
The battle shock on the tank and the SAG-mech got me a tempting target. Because they're like, I'm here, and then like one boy ran on it, but I was like, you failed your battle shock, so it's fine now.
It never happens, but yeah, it's funny though when it does.
I don't know. It all adds up to something useful.
It does.
So I think that's what I really enjoy about this list in particular. The kill rigs, I mean, they're the center of it all. They make it work but the Snagga boys are probably the more fun of it because you get to do a lot of shenanigans with them.
Well, awesome. Yeah. Me pumped. I don't own 4 rigs. I have 3, but
I don't either. I got here. Let me see my kill rig, or my hunter rig.
I appreciate it nonetheless.
My daughter painted it.
Yes.
So if you have a Squigoth at home that got legend like mine did, hunter rig. There you go.
There you go.
I haven't had a TO complain. I did have to take all the parts off a kill rig and load them up so he has the mortar and the harpoon. But
give him all stuff so he's the right height and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a good use of a Squigoth, man. Hopefully they bring those back. GW, come on now.
Yeah, right.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Steven. You've been cooking with this. I freaking absolutely love it. As a toughness vibe, as a combined arms vibe, it has a perpetual momentum from the hunt. It has the AP problem a little bit worked on with all the different units, shooting, so it can deal with GW. Surprisingly, no Mandos for infiltration. No.
If they want to come near, that's their business.
All your stuff kind of just goes out and fights or shoots a little bit. So yeah, that works, right? It's not like it's a truck. Your rigs are like, I'll charge that. Cool, thanks. So fantastic. Free movement. Yeah. So awesome. Exactly. Thank you, Steven. Any last words you feel like saying about this and how you're doing?
No, it's I think that's about it. I've enjoyed it though. It's been a really good time, and I appreciate you having me on me. I'll having me on here. I'll be playing in 8TC in a little bit, a couple weeks. So hopefully some good news comes out of that. Mark Perry beat me last year. I need to get some revenge. I'm gonna call him out this time if I play. I'll put that more DACA nonsense in the dirt.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we like to hear. Yeah, he is going for that #1 orc this year, dude. It's an active year for the orc community, surprisingly. And if you like what Steven said, you can find him in the Discord chat. And of course, you can DM him and try to get some direct advice. Talk to him. He'll let you know what he can do. Yes. And he's just in the chat nonetheless, just talking it out with everybody. That's how I heard whispers of what this was. Yep. And then boom, he came up and showed us all out. So shout out to the kill rig, shout out for the big hunt, and thank you very much, War Boss Steven. So with that being said, there's only one thing to keep in mind. is don't cross our wall because we'll knock your teeth out.